past ourselves that
We were in school together from what?
Yay hoi.
Little kids together, and we grew up in Ballyfermot, place in Dublin, Ireland. For anyone that doesn't know, and we went to school together, and that's where our mischief all started.
That's where it began.
For me personally, that was the probably the best days of my upbringing, was being in school and the laughs we used to have because we got up to some stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, we caused all sorts of chaos. Just before we go on, there was chaos happening here as well. We're not going to be talking here for God knows how long.
Oh man!
And we just realised that we weren't on
recording
for those.
The media team.
The media team, we can't get the media team distracted. But as we were saying, you know, they were from what I remember of growing up and the years that, you know, were the best. Was them times, Terry? Do you know, was them times, because after that was just, you know, oblivion and destruction, you know, but we were the babies, man. We were babies. We made a communion together. We were innocent, you know. Everything was adventure and mischief. For the terrible
two little snotty nosed ginger heads. 2
little red chap. When I had hair, that was, for those that are looking in. But you know, everything was mischief and adventure and fun for us because we laughed.
Oh,
do you remember we used to do our raps up and down the main roads? You know, from school. We were good.
Yeah,
I was Dr. G.
Good.
You were brilliant. You were brilliant. But no, but you know, we were innocent. You know, we used to try rapping and, you know, but anything that wasn't tied down, we robbed. In school, we took everything. There was nothing, and we'd rob it, and 2 minutes later, we just throw it away because it was just the adventure of doing something. The mischief of doing it. We got thrown out. The famous stories. You know, we got thrown out.
What was that? Sixth
class.
Ready to go into first year.
Yeah, and we got put down into 3rd class.
We got put back
in the little desks.
Into the little kids.
And
people laughed.
People laughed there. You know, and the stuff all for what? A pen. Robbing pens.
Yeah, robbing pens.
You know, because nothing was safe. Wrecked their heads.
Well, we
tormented them, and they tormented us because they killed us.
Yeah.
They really killed us. I got slaughtered, so did you. You know, you weren't standing outside the headmaster's office, it was me. Or the 2 of us wasn't outside the classroom door. There was something wrong. And there was nothing, but they were the good days. No, and you know, but our ma's didn't think they were the good days because we had them tormented even then.
Yeah. You were barred down my house. I was barred down your house.
Gone. Don't come up. Further stay away. You know, it was just adventure at them times, but we didn't know what, you know, that mischief was leading up to. And as I was saying, you know, we wrapped up the main road.
Yeah.
Little did we know that couple of years later I would be strung out to bits on that street. You know, that me and you would only be meeting as we go for our drugs. We weren't even friends then. We were just passing by each other. Your life was going somewhere else and so was mine, and we just passed. Alright, Terry, my head was too busy using, and so was yours, to even stop and have a cigarette at the time. You know, and we didn't know that at that time, you know, and we started smoking together. Hallelujah. Yeah, robbing me ma's smokes.
The Rotmans and
yeah.
But I think what you said something earlier that stood out for me was that the drugs became your first love.
Yeah. And
I think that's it's so accurate because you're passing someone by that you're very close with like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, and that goes for family. For me, it was the same.
Yeah, I loved drugs. I loved everything about them. I loved getting them, but I loved using them. And I'd done anything to use. And I walked over anybody to use them because that's how much I loved them.
Yeah.
Material things didn't mean anything to me. You know, getting drugs, putting drugs into me and living the drug addict lifestyle is what I loved and I thrived on because I had a relationship with that drug. That just took me away from everything. You know, it took me away from myself. It took me away from my cares.
Footballer.
Yeah, I look.
Two of us were good footballers.
I remember GAA gear, you know what I mean?
Together,
I was a good hurler, but I remember even as a young lad, as I said, I wasn't, hardcore on the drugs. I was managing, I was going at my dad playing football with little Gales and this, that, and I was really, really good, really good hurler, and but I remember then trying to keep that performance. Yeah. As I started to dabble in drugs.
What did you start messing with?
Yeah, well, the usual stuff that we all gas and Tipex and all that, and then I remember our mischief one day. I went in and I robbed a joint on my next door neighbour. Robbed a joint, a little thing about that size that was sitting in the ashtray, and I was only a young lad, you know what I mean? I was 12, I think, and I'd been messing with all that stuff, but I was 12. Yeah. And I went around to where we used to hang around up in Cherry Orchard, around at the corner, and we went up to the field, me and a bloke, and we lit that thing up, and it's a funny story because the fella tells the same story, and I had a couple of blows and he had a couple of blows, and I don't know which one it was, but one of us went blind and one of us went deaf. I mean, never forget it. But as I said, I was saying to you earlier, that I fell in love with the drug. Something changed in young Ian that day. I knew that I was going to have a relationship with drugs from the moment I smoked my first joint. It done something to me that it wasn't like heroin or anything like that, but the experience I had up on that hill that day just took me. You were going to do it again. Yeah, I knew that I was going to be a drug addict probably for the rest of my life. Whatever happened up there within Ian that day, whether it was, the taking you away from yourself, making you feel high, whatever it was, and probably a lot of drug addicts have that experience, but I knew that day, from that day, that was it for me. It was signed, sealed and delivered, and then it was just a case of the progression of becoming, an even worse drug addict, worse off, doing more damage, causing
the whole way, because I can't remember, to be honest. The whole way when you started heavy hard drugs in.
I was taking, naps at 13, 14. Do you know what I mean?
15.
I was taking, MSTs then, and that's where it started for me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? With these, it wasn't heroin for me. It was them, which went to methadone, which went to DFs and GGs and all that. That's where I was. I was at this because heroin hadn't even hit. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? True, yeah. And ecstasy was only starting to take off. The dance, all that was starting. And I remember going in raving and all. But I remember even taking my first drop of methadone and going into a rave, and
total opposite.
And people were like, what the hell is skating? And I was like, yeah, I'm full of methadone now, And so there was that liking for that kind of drug as well already within me. Yeah. Because they were chilled, and then I started, the dancing. Yeah. Out raving and this and going to.
But you were already messing with.
But I was on the road already, as to becoming, it's just a progression for me. And then there was, the circumstances of the environment that I was in, because I believe that's what created him, was the environment that I was living in. I lived in an estate where there was nothing. You know what I mean? There was one shop. Yeah. There was nothing for the kids. You either became an armed robber, a hitman, or go to jail, or a drug dealer. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No one was successful. There was nothing in my area, and the environment, that I was in, was that I became a product of that, and the people that became a product was that. You were a drug addict, or got to prison, or you died. Yeah. Oh, you got murdered. There wasn't very many people that made it out of that. Yeah. Not in my generation.
It was a tough area. It was a tough spot.
Yeah. So, as I said, the progression just ticked away like most people's progression, and then ecstasy come in, and then heroin come in, and that was it. That was it for me. That just. It didn't change the game. It was just something that was easy access. It was easier to get than everything else, because a lot of the stuff, that you would chase the prescription, they were shutting down, on prescriptions, because I used to be with people that went hitting doctors and this, that and the other, so there was a lot of pills and a lot of methadone and this, and they started regulating different things. But heroin, there was easy access.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
When it kicked in the 90s, man, it came in like a flood. But I wasn't introduced the same way as a lot of people were to, you know what, you know, it's heroin.
Yeah.
You know, it's Chase the Dragon.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, I heard Chase the Dragon. What? Chase who?
Some of that.
Who's the dragon? You know, and, you know, my mischief streak, even though I knew it was a drug, there was an excitement within me to try something that was called Chase the Dragon. And I knew, you know, one or two family members, you know, were already dabbling in this, so I was like, this must be like ecstasy, the new exciting happening thing, come on. And I went and experienced that, and the minute, that was it for me.
It's gone. Right,
I was in all the way. I was like, man, I can't wait till next week to get more of that.
How long did it take before it got worse? Like?
Yeah, I think I smoked it on a Saturday night, and it was, you know, you can't wait till next Saturday, because I thought it was like go to rave or Friday, you know what I mean? Have your dance next week, and then boom, out with a bit of foil and smoke. But it wasn't Monday, you know, it was Saturday. I got a kip on Sunday because I had to come and down on Monday. I was on smoking. Monday. I was back down around the corner at a house doing the same thing. Wow. And I just progressed then. It was like then tapping away every couple of days. Before I knew it, it was every day using.
So that was your life basically from there on in, and then...
That was it.
What was it? Because I hadn't seen you.
Yeah, we didn't see each other.
That was once you took your road.
Yeah, I think we didn't see each other for 20 years, Terry. You know what I mean? I thought, you know, Terry Fredel, Terry went to school. You know, so that's, you lived down one end of Ballyferm. Ballyferm is a small place. Yeah. You know, I didn't even see you in the main road.
You end up all over Dublin,
everywhere.
Don't you?
Everywhere.
My drug addiction took me all over.
Geographical, as they say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's geographical, so it brings you places, and you know, you went your way, and I went mine. You know, and that's the thing. We all have our different journeys with our drugs, with our pain, and with our addiction. You know, I became a service user. I used every service, from methadone clinics, the needle exchanges, to wherever doctor I could get, the treatment centres, the prisons. To all that service, I used every one of them, you know, and at some form, you know, whether it was going up to the Ashton Clinic or to the Needle Exchange, to Pier Street, wherever it was, there was that little thing of, you know, you didn't want to be the way you were, even though you were all the way in, there was something inside you.
Trying to fight you.
Yeah, but you couldn't.
It's too
hard, you know, it was impossible, you know, it was impossible because I was all in. It was a chaotic, everything I'd done in my life was chaotic, you know, it was chaotic.
When was the first time you ended up in treatment?
I remember, Jesus, how did I get there? It's about anyone else, isn't it? Which, I needed to try and make a change when my life was smashed, you know what I mean? But I wasn't smashed enough that I couldn't do it one more time. Do you know what? I forget how old I was, but I was down in Coomera. In a toy, Sister Concilio's. I was on a high dose of methadone. I was on it over 100 and odd mils, and I was on gear and pills, and you know the usual story.
You get detox down there.
Yeah, the usual story. You know, it was bowl washing powder I was taking it.
Yeah.
You know, it was bowl washing powder. If you get stoned on that, it was going into me.
Yeah.
That's the way I was. And I remember going down there, and I was, you know, I was making it impossible. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you got a detox down there, which wasn't too bad, but I was in detox for a long time. It was only meant to be a couple of, 2 weeks. I was in there because it was such a high dose. You know what I mean? You were trying I was in bits, and anyway, and they had me in there for three months, and that it was a horrible place, as you know. It's rotten, that detox, you know. But got detox, and anyway, I went over, and in we went doing the program. Thought everything was right as rain, you know what I mean? Woo, I do enough, and I've said enough Hail Marys, and you know what I mean, 50 million, decades in a rosy, but nothing changed in the end, because when I left there, I picked up the same Ian that came through the gate. Right. Because I didn't, I didn't go straight back. I got a couple of years. I just picked up all the defects. You know what I mean? That I thought I was at the dealing with all my issues, all that. I thought I was at the deal. God, I got clean. I got clean and they're all fixed. That's what I thought.
Did you ever start work or anything? No, nothing like that.
Nothing. I went straight out, and I went to a different place. I was going to a different fellowship. which I ended up, I stayed clean for a number of years, but that's all that happened. Now that works for a lot of other people, brilliant and fantastic places.
Yeah.
You know, people's lives are getting touched, you know, people are able to live.
Yeah.
People are in recovery, and you know what, that's absolute amazing. But what people were doing in there that worked for them, I didn't allow it to work for me, even though I stayed clean. I didn't allow, you know, what worked to get inside me, and nothing changed. My mindset didn't change, because I was up to all sorts, and anyway, I was messing about, you know, doing them.
It's the mischief, but Ian's still there.
Ian was still there, you know, so I was up to all sorts, and that corrupted me. I was living in straight bang in the middle of Trees' Gardens, and before I knew it, I was up to all the stuff that you do, all the ducking and diving and sneaking around. The Bible says, you know what I mean? Yeah. Spoils the vine.
Vines, yeah.
You know, the little foxes spoil the vine. You know what I mean? And you know, these things crept in, and before I knew it, these little things were causing huge problems for me. And then I remember one night, I just, you know, I was in a gaff, I'll never forget it. I'm at a party, and you know, the cocaine, it's getting thrown all around the place, and I'm the one throwing it, bam, this, that, and the other. And I'm not a coke user. Do you know what I mean? As in sniffing, that's not my thing. I was never into it. I don't do that. You know, have a sniff, but I'm not a cokehead. Sitting there with a £20 out of my nose, it's not my buzz. I want a syringe and a bottle of Fry. You know what I mean? A crack pipe. Do you know what I mean? And I remember standing in the place and going, I'm getting gear. I'm getting gear. And that was it.
So you were okay? You weren't on gear?
No.
At that stage?
No.
Right.
No. And you know, I was in recovery. It was 5 years, like. It was 5 years clean, and as I said, you know, things started coming into my life, and there was no change with me. Ian was still the same. Just up to all sorts of stuff. And I remember in that flat that night, was drug dealing had come back into my life. You know what I mean? Doing robberies had come back into my life. You know, going and harming people. So all this stuff had come in. You know, not being responsible for anything. My family knew nothing about me because I didn't go near them. I only went near them, you know, when I wanted something, or if I was back up around, whatever. You know, and my family were great, you know what I mean? I grew up in a great family, but you know, I ruined them because of this. And I'm trying to explain this, is that I remember standing in that flat in Trees' Gardens that night, and you're throwing the cocaine to all these other people, and I had a moment that I went, you know what, I'm getting gear. And I went and got gear, and after that, now my life was in chaos before, you know, that treatment centre, and I got a couple of years, but when I started back using that when I went back on gear that night, when I used that night, that it was over altogether. There was no coming back. You know, there was no, you know what, I'm going to go back for treatment, I'm going to go do this, and that just continued for years and years. Around. The usual. You know, hopeless, broken, you know, destructive, you know what I mean?
Were you ever homeless?
Sorry?
Were you ever homeless?
No. I haven't been homeless, fortunate enough, you know, there was always somewhere there. I always managed to maintain having some sort of roof over my head, whether it was in someone's gaff, whether it's in some board's gaff, or just myself, you know what I mean? I'd maintain something.
How did you end up over in Manchester? How did that?
Like animals.
You
know, like animals. How did I end up here? You know.
Can you remember even?
Yeah. I was after getting out of prison after a very long sentence, another long sentence. And I got out of there thinking, you know what? I'm not too bad. You know what I mean? I'm only having been, you know, having a couple of smokes. You know what I mean, on the land and or whatever. I'm not being took and enjoyed. I'm all right. I'm not going to use this time. This time I get out, I'm not going to use. You know what I mean? It's going to be different. Now, I had nowhere to go. I was homeless this time, but you know that now that you said that, but my man and dad was taking me for somewhere I hadn't lived for years and years. My man and dad was going to take me back in. And I remember saying to myself, getting out, you know what I mean, walking out the gates of Wheatfield. Well, no, I have this. Sure, I was only in my ma's, what, about, I'd say 45 minutes. I had an out breakfast with them, the Gucci as you do, the ma looking after you. And within 45 minutes I was down the road scoring. And that was it for me. And within 3 months, Terry, my life was finished. I was sitting on the train tracks in Cherry Orchard, or in a little bush, trying to get a vein at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, because I couldn't sleep. I'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning baiting people's doors over for gear. You know what I mean? Or cracking. But it was all changed, the drug scene, you know, but I went to a different place, you know, and I was always on my own, isolated. And anyway, I was always isolated away, you know what I mean, on my own, in my own little world. But within them 3 months, I went to a place, man, that I'd never forget. You know, and, you know, it asked me, it was, you know, now I know it was an act of God. Do you know what I mean? Because it was either going and methadone maintenance, because it wasn't that any of the doors were shut for me. I just didn't meet the criteria for the places. I was that bad. I didn't meet their criteria at the time to get in. So no one would deal with me. You know, not all the doors, probation wouldn't even look at me. You know what I mean? Prison, I think, was sick of me. You know, all the services were like, what do we do here? So there was nowhere else for me. And do you know what? I was coming to reside to the fact that, do you know what? I either kill myself or I go back on the Ashton. Well, the Ashton was gone, the new clinic, I just go back on the fight. And, you know, I didn't want to go back on the clinics. Do you know what I mean? Because it's after being in jail and, you know what I mean, this, that, and I didn't want to go back. Because they're saying, this is going to prolong the torment and I'm going to be using all sorts with that meeting. So I didn't really, but, you know, and I battled with it for a while. And I made the decision one day, I said, you know what, I'm going to the Ashton. I'm going to go back on the clinic. So and I walked up there and something were in me. I said, don't go in. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get the bus down the main roads, I'm going to score, and then I'm going to go back up and end this. And I was getting off the bus, and I bumped into 2 blokes that I used to share needles with, and they were saved, they were set free, they were living their lives, and I fell into their arms. And I'll never forget it, because that's, you know, and I get a little bit emotional. You know, when I think about it, I get a little bit welled up, you know what I mean? Because I used to share needles with them. And these two brothers used to run amok in Balliol, you know, on the main road. They'll know when they're watching. You know, but I met them. I fell into their arms, and you know what? They just showed me love, man. Come on, Gibbo. Come over here and I'll talk to you. Man, look at you. And they bring me into, you know, one of them bring me into their ma's sitting room, you know, into the room, and he just says, Gibbo, what's wrong with you, man? He showed me love. Something that I gave up on. You know, I gave up on love 20 odd years ago, and anyway, or whatever. And but he showed me a genuine love, and I knew this bloke. He was a lunatic. He was a lunatic, but he showed me love and compassion. And he goes, Gibbo, what can I do for you? And I said, I'm broken. I'm suicidal, man. I'm finished. And he says, look, I can get you into a place. I can get you into a place. And I'd heard this story before, and I was like, oh, here we go again. He was like, no, what are you willing? I says, I'm willing to go anywhere, man. I says, if it's a dog box, I'm willing to go. Do you know what I mean? So he seen me willingness. And I can't believe he prayed for me. But something inside me believed it. Something inside me, where before I doubted it, and something inside me, I could feel it inside me. He prayed for me, and I believed it. And then he says to me, look, I'll be in touch with you, give us your number, blah, blah, blah. So I'm skipping out the road to go scoring it. My hope was a little bit, I was like, I hear that all again. And I'll never forget, I was with my ma's, sitting on the bed, muzzled, you know what I mean? The ma's screaming, blah, blah, blah. And the phone went, and it's that bloke. He says, I'm at to get me a place. He says, where? He says, Manchester, Victory Outreach, Manchester. And I says, what? I says, when can I go? I remember saying that, when can I go? Because I was that broken, I was that messed up. I don't think I would have lasted very much longer. I was like, when can I go? He says, I can't get you a bed probably for another week, and my heart fell out of me. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't know whether I was going to last another day, Terry, at this time. My mental state wasn't too good. You know, using, I didn't know whether the next hit, and look, I tried a lot of suicidal stuff, you know what I mean, down through, but I didn't really know whether me next day I would get the try recovery aid, you know what I mean, or they get clean. So I didn't know, so it was touch and go for me. But a couple of days later, you know, I remember going down and saying, look, I'm not getting a place, buy him a ticket. That was the family. Buy him a ticket. You know what I mean? Roll on Sunday. They got the ticket. Roll on Sunday. There's your bag. See it. Because that's, you know, bro.
All on your own.
Yeah. And that, I think that was the defining moment for me, was stepping onto the boat. was stepping onto the boat, because I always feared that. Do you know what I mean? Was to go into a different country, because a different thing, you know. And I think in me walk, that was a defining moment for me, is that when I stepped out in faith.
Yeah.
Even before I reached the victory home, is that God stepped in and had his hand on me. You know, and I ended up at the victory.
When you come in,
I ended up at the victory home.
You were in bits.
Yeah.
You were really, really one of the worst cases I've ever seen. Yeah, and you know, you can tell by the pictures, it's you were gone, done.
Yeah, there was nothing left. You know, it was just a broken mess. Just a broken skeleton. You know, with nothing inside. No hope, no purpose, you know, no hope of being anything else. You know, I was in the mindset of once a junkie, always a junkie, and you're gonna die a junkie. Yeah. And that was my mindset, and it's a tragic story for so many of us and so many people that have come through the homes and different recovery places. Is that's the mindset that we all have. Yeah. Going into the places broken, but it's in these places that you experience stuff that there's rebuilding, there's hope, there's transformation. You know, it's such, you know,
it takes time, doesn't it? Yeah. But you could see it in your early days. It just, you know, you're just getting a little bit stronger. I think you're too weak to go anywhere.
Do you know what?
You were really, really.
Do you know what? I never forget it when I walked into the men's home, and do you know what? As a director, I got the sign repainted. It was me prayers, and it says whatever it takes.
Come on.
And I remember every time that I managed to get out of the home, because he didn't let me out of the home. You know, I was a high risk category in the home. You know, he kept a watch on me for a little bit. You know, just because of my brokenness as well, you know, how damaged I was. It wasn't because I was up to it was because of my brokenness. Yeah. Because I was so fragile, it kept me really, really close. And it took a lot of time for me to, you know, get sleep and strength.
You were never in and like this victory outreach?
Oh no, I was in victory outreach in Ireland. But I never said. It's how to win the club.
You're slowly learning. And God is...
Yeah, so, you know, and I was in the home in Ireland, but it wasn't for me. I legged it. 2 days, I was out there, gone. Oh, for the wrong reasons, you know. Trouble in Balliol, duck and do it. But, you know, gone. So this was my first, you know... Real experience, you know, giving it a chance at the victory home. You know what I mean? What it does. And as I said, there was a sign on the top of the door that says, whatever it takes. And I remember that was my prayer. You know what I mean? I remember that was my prayer. Every day and every night. I didn't know how to pray, man. They're all chanting in tongues and wacky. You know, so, you know, so that was my prayer. You know, whatever it takes, Lord, just help me to get through to the day, or get me head on the pillow. And slowly, you know, days started to go by, and next of all it was weeks, and next of all it started to months, and I'm getting me sleep back, and then I've got a relationship with the Lord, and then I start building myself, and, you know, finding out things, you know, and finding a purpose, and finding value within myself, and starting to find belonging then, you know, starting to find that, you know what, I belong here. Yeah, because I've been in treatment centres and this, that and the other, but there was something in this place that was magical. You know what I mean? Something in there that, I don't know what it was, but it was the Lord, because I was starting to experience what God was, and the love of God, because the place in there was special, man. Yeah. You know, I walked in, people loved me. It wasn't always love. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I got that's something that. Yeah. But you know what I need? The type of character I was, I needed that stuff. You know, and that's what develops you into who you are today. But you know, and then my journey just kept going. I completed. You were at my completion. Yeah. Hallelujah, remember? Yeah. You know, the green fruit jacket. Isn't it? Yeah. You know, and
it's them little milestones along the way.
They're the things, they're the things, you know. You have all the little milestones around the home, the 3 months, the 6 months, the this, your first family phone call, your little bit of time out, you know, probably, you know, you're going with these little things, but there's completion. Yeah. What a milestone for any drug addict.
Big achievement.
To get 12 months clean.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know, that their lives was tore up, because we were tore up. We shouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? This is a miracle. I said it to you earlier, you know, we're going to speak about it now in a minute, is that, and then I graduated.
Yeah.
What another milestone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ended up graduating the Victory Home, which is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, but what an absolute blessing it is. You know, prepares you. You know, all the stuff you learn at home prepares you for life.
Yeah.
After the home, you apply it in your life. What you learn in there is going to equip you for the rest of your Christian walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, I graduated the home, and then I ended up becoming the director of the home. And I was only talking to you about this earlier on, and it's funny because, you know, me and Terry and Pastor Roy, our lives went for 20 years separated. We didn't see each other.
Yeah.
And next of all, we're all brought back together 20 years later in Victory Outreach.
Yeah.
And it's funny that, you know, and this is how I know it's God, because you can't write this, because me and you tore Ballyfermot up. We tore right up. No, but he, you know,
bad drug addicts.
Yeah, you know, the three of us.
You said there, we're all there together.
The three of us, right, were like three serious drug addicts.
Praying for each other.
Right, and next of all, right, and our lives for 20 years, I didn't see you and Roy. And next of all, we're back in Victory Outreach, but you two, Pastor Roy, your brother, and you prayed me in as a home director.
Yeah, Pastor called me up to pray.
Yeah, and you can't write that, man. Yeah. You know, you think about it, that story, you couldn't write that. You know, and that proved to me, and even that's a solid thing, that, you know what, man, God was working in our lives as well as many others. That really made a lot of sense to me at the time. I remember walking away that day and going, wow, these two. These two, you know what I mean?
How come
and
these two, Lord?
Him again, I can't get away with it, but you know, what a story.
Me rap mate.
Yeah, two of us robbing pens, but you know, so, you know, there was that.
Powerful.
You know, there was that, and you know, I got to run the homes.
Yeah.
You know, I got to see, you know, other men come in.
Yeah.
And change their lives and go out. Not everybody stays.
Answer the call.
Yeah, you know,
and
that's the thing. And then I met my beautiful wife.
Come on.
In the church,
come
you know.
On.
She's on our media this evening.
Yeah, she's sacked.
She's sacked after. You know, I got to meet my amazing, beautiful wife, who was another graduate of the Victory Home. Do you know what I mean? She's another graduate.
Powerful testimony.
You know, and two graduates, two people that were wrote off. Lost, broken, you know, should be dead. Both of us, me and my wife, should be dead. You know, amazing testimony she has. Powerful story. And we met each other in the church. Yeah. You know, we met each other, you know, and you know, then
so that journey started then.
That journey started just as the journey, just a little bit before. I was the caretaker of the church, got me first proper job. Yeah. You know, so you know that started. Yeah. You know. Just as I was starting, a little bit before I started as a director, and that was a journey and a process, and through the lockdown loving, we used to call it. We used to do our dates on Zoom, and that was a hard thing as well, you know, for both of us, and you know, we're new to relationships. I was, you know what I mean, very new. I hadn't, you know, ever had a relationship that wasn't, you know, without drugs. Yeah. I never had, so I didn't know how, you know, so this was new, and then there was the lockdown, and even running the homes was hard, and trying to maintain it, but you know what, we done it, you know, and you know what, then I ended up proposing to her, and getting married, and you know what, you were one of me groomsmen,
it was one of the best weddings.
Communion, and then we groomsmen.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful at the wedding. It was a gorgeous wedding. It was great to see you and Emma, two homies, graduated. Do you know what I mean? That's you don't get that much in the homes. Do you know what I mean? To see two people coming from nowhere, going through the home, getting graduating the home, and then getting married. Do you know what I mean? And then and now we just have a house. Yeah. You have a little job. Emma's walking away. He's serving the church.
Yeah, so that's what we do. That's our lives. You know, we have our own little house. We have our house. She's walking. I walk. You know what I mean? I walk with mental health now. You know, after coming through the homes, I work in mental health. We serve in our church. You know what I mean? You know, never thought in my wildest dreams.
How far have you come?
You know, never thought. You know, and if God can do it in my life, you know, He can do it within anybody's life, and that's the thing. You know, I was a broken drug addict from the streets of Dublin, involved in all sorts that we haven't even touched on. You know what I mean? We haven't. You know what I mean? This is being kept light.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like I've many stories. You know what I mean?
But people that know you and know, you know, how bad you were on your drug addiction, stuff like that. And
that's the thing. I was a broken drug addict from the streets of Dublin. Yeah. From a little place called Ballyfermot. Yeah. You know, that shouldn't be alive, but is.
But one thing that stood out to me, what you said, because I can relate to it, Ian, is when you stepped onto that boat. Yeah. Because I never wanted to come to England or Liverpool. I never wanted to leave Dublin. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's a big one for somebody that wants to break that cycle. Yeah.
I think it's just you need to just, you know, I was full of fear all the time. You know, I was full of fear, and I came to the place where, you know what, I had to take the step. Yeah. But I was terrified.
Yeah, you're coming off so many drugs. You know what? You don't know where you're going.
It was like, where am I even going over here? I hadn't a clue. Honestly, God, I didn't even know about trains and this, and I was spaced down my head. I'm geared and, you know, spaced out of the head. But I was full of fear and all the baggage that we carried with us. Yeah. But when I stepped out, honest to God, I can honestly say when that boat pulled out of that place, I knew there was no turning back for me. Yeah. I knew that I had to go and I had to give it me all. But it was the fear of it. So I'd encourage anybody, if you know that there and they're watching in, is that, you know what, as much as that fear can control you and hold you back, is, you know what, when it comes to this, because this is life and death for the drug addict, is that, you know what, you need to just dig as deep as you can, because I had to dig as deep as I can. Coming up there, I had to wait a week to go, and believe me, that was a scary week. Yeah. You know, there was a scary week, because I didn't think I was going to make it to the boat. I'd ever see another chance of recovery. Thought I'd be dead, suicide, blow me head, whatever. Yeah. You know, because that's where I was at. You know, or I was going to hurt somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? And probably those that are closest, my family. Yeah. Because that's who we hurt first, you know, and that's who we destroyed first. They were always who I destroyed first. You know, but thank God, you know, that I stepped out onto that boat that day, and
you took this step.
I took this step, and I'm out there. You know, my family are back in my life. Yeah. You know, my family.
Come on now. Give us a few good points.
Yeah, my family are back in my life. Do you know what I mean? You know, my friends who had to walk away from me. Yeah. They never turned their back, but they had to walk away from me because who I was, they couldn't be around me. They're back in my life. Yeah. When I walk into my estate, people greet me now. They don't shut their doors or that's a scumbag, that's it, that. When I walk through Ballyfermot or I walk to the people that they actually come out and, you know what, people that ring over and ask for prayer and that, you know, and it's just to give people a bit of hope. But that's, you know what I mean, that's what I had. I built, you know, a family here in Manchester. Yeah. You know, I have a couple of friends. You know, my life is not perfect, but it's absolute.
Oh, it's far from it.
No, hello. Yeah, my life ain't perfect, but you know what? It's what it's meant to be. Yeah. It's what it's meant to be.
It's a serious transformation. Yeah. That's what it is.
And I think why my life is where it's meant to be is that I took the step of faith. Yeah. I took the step of faith and I faced the fear that controlled me and held me back all the time. And I stepped out and I said, you know what? Just go over it. And I kept doing that.
And I think one thing that stood out for me is watching you along the way. We helped each other along the way. Is people shepherd you. People, they shepherd you, don't they? Yeah. Along the way.
Yeah. I had amazing
different
people.
Leaders, different pastors.
I had amazing
your
people.
Wife, do you know what I mean? These people shepherd you.
Yeah. I was blessed because in my church I have 4, you know, amazing pastors. Yeah. You know what I mean? And their wives. And do you know what? On my journey, they were the ones who shepherded me. You know, now I have my beautiful wife as well there to thank as well. But, you know, she's does that. And I feel good, 1 or 2, you know, yourself, Beamsy and that. Yeah. You know, but I had the Pastor Paul, Sister Vicky, I had Pastor Kev, I had Pastor James, I had Pastor Andy. They kept me close.
Brian in the early
days. I Brother Brian, you know, 3 directors, Pastor Bob, Martin Murphy.
And it's all part of you sitting here today.
Yeah, so every one of them bring something different to me. So that's why I'm saying I was blessed to have that. 4 and 3 directors. So each one of them brings something into my walk or into an area that needed to develop in.
Yeah.
And I could apply different things, you know, and it's not easy, but I'm where I am because all this, the shepherds, you know, that I had, the people listening, the people directing me, you know, the people sharing their experience.
And willing hard to change as well, I think, all the way, you know, you tried, you sat in the chair. It's tough, I'd say, it does be tough. Well, free hard work.
Yeah, we were nightmares. It was a nightmare in the home. An absolute nightmare in the home. A nightmare. But you know what? It paid off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sitting here, look where we are, Terry.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, I think you come so far and you don't try to forget, but you try just keep on improving. I try to just try and keep on improving it, and you don't forget, you know, that how far you've come. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? From the using drugs for a long period of time and getting caught up in all sorts of stuff, and how your life is today, from waking up in the morning, dying sick, getting your drugs, to waking up in the morning now and praying.
There's
serious. Thank you, Jesus, for that.
You know, and that's the things you have to be grateful for. And that's, I always say, and I always when I say to the lads, I says, you know what, just waking up in the morning, breathing, I'm grateful. Yeah. Without all the other stuff.
Yeah, simple.
The other stuff is all a great bonus, you know what I mean? Having your house and all this is. But me waking up, being able to breathe through my nostrils, you know, without breathing heroin, just tin oil burning, or, you know, citric or whatever, you know, that stinking smell, the aroma you have coming out of your skin from being a drug addict, or sleeping in a ditch, or whatever it is you're doing. They're just waking up, being able to breathe, and not having that. Yeah. You know, that stuff that you wake up now, and it's simple, you know, simple little things, and I'm blessed and I'm really, really grateful, do you know what I mean, that, you know, God made an opportunity for me to step onto that boat, you know, and that I had that experience, because I believe that's where the experience started, you know what I mean. I believe when I stepped off the bus and met them 2 brothers, I'm very, very grateful for them.
Yeah, that was the intervention.
I reckon that was the moment that God used to start it all. Yeah, definitely. You know, start it all. I'm grateful that I had that moment, you know, because if I hadn't had that, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have, I would have died that day, you know, back in 2018. I would have been dead that day, because that was my plan. I was going to end my life, because there was nothing else to live for. I'd lost everything, you know, on my self-respect. You know, anything within me, I'd lost all hope. I'd given up myself years ago, but this was the point where it was like, it's over now. I'd given up a long time ago, but now I'm going to end it. And you know what? I'm so grateful that I had that moment that day where I met these 2 brothers. Yeah. You know, one of them, you know.
Praise the Lord.
And that's the thing, and my life, you know, is in a place that I could only pinch myself. I do pinch myself, you know, married to an absolute stunning, beautiful, amazing woman, which she's blessed, by the way. She's blessed. She is blessed.
You know, make a deadly couple.
You know, she's amazing. You know what I mean? Amazing woman. You know, to having, as I said, my family, my friends, to having a few good people around me. 2 dogs, Charlie's asleep there, look, you know, things out the back. Well, you know, the simple little things, and being at, you know, the place that we are, you know, and as I said, we shouldn't be here, man. And that I keep pinching myself sometimes. You know, when I do meet you, we're out today, the 2 of us, and just me and you was walking with the dogs, and I was like, man, look at this. Yeah. Look at this, it's like, me and him tore the place up. But look, we're actually walking with dogs, just having a chat, laugh, you know what I mean? And I was saying, man,
the way we used to be when we were small.
Do you know, and I was saying, God, man, look what you're after doing about our lives. And do you know what? I'm very, very grateful for that. You know, you know, we could sit here all night and talk about the horrible stuff. Yeah. But it's not about that.
A great message.
No, it's about hope. Yeah, it's about just giving people hope, because we can sit down and look at all the horrible bad things, and it's not about that. It's about, you know what, I was a drug addict.
God is taking you from
that. I was broken, I was wrote off, like you, and like many others of the viewers that are there, that were hopeless and thought it was gonna die a junkie. You know, but this is a story that's of hope. You know, that God changes it around, and you know what, things will happen in your life if you do the right things, and you know,
don't be afraid to take the step.
No, step out, man. Step out.
Don't be afraid to take the step.
Step out.
Now, Ian, do you know what? Fair play to you.
Yeah. I didn't get to make it on the sofa, but he came to Manchester to make it onto ours. He's on the enemy territory.
Yeah, in the enemy's camp. No, it's a pleasure today, Ian, and thanks for sharing that, mate. Seriously, it's a powerful testimony. And hopefully it can help somebody out there. So thanks, Emma, for today. Thank you.
You're
Ian,
sacked.
Yeah.
You're sacked.
No, Ian, I wish you all the best, the two of you, for the future. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully it can help someone. So I hope you enjoy. God bless everybody.
God bless.